program was meant to assist in alleviating, persistent food shortages that the country has been facing over the last 10 to 15 years. When we looked at the underlying causes of food deficits in Malawi, one of the critical factors was access to inputs, essentially fertilizer and seed. Of course, there have been periods of droughts in between, but by and large, even in years when we had good rains, most of the farmers could not access fertilizer and seed. The government thought it wise to support, access to these inputs as a way of boosting productivity, especially amongst the smallholder farmers. We had done various input support programs. We had what we call the targeted input program, providing small packs of fertilizer and seed. But these were really very, very small packets, and we noticed that the impact was not really felt on the ground. That's why we thought maybe the best way is to come with a scheme whereby people can have one 50 kg bag of basil dressing and one 50 kg bag of top dressing fertilizer and seed. So the results over the last 2 years have seen, a tremendous increase in productivity, especially for maize.
36 kg.
When we started the program in 2005, we had a discussion with our cooperating partners on the government intention to do this program. But at that time, all the donors could not commit resources to assist us in implementing the program. I think they were not convinced that such a scheme is worth investing money on. So right from the first year, 2005, it was fully financed from our own resources. In the next year, 2006, a number of donors, especially DFID, Norwegian government and the EU, came in a small way to support the seed component. But that was I think less than 10% of the cost of the whole program. So 90% of the program is still funded by government. Of course, the distribution is based on the population of smaller farmers, as well as the amount of land that is used for growing maize. So we try to match, the available allocation of vouchers per area, match it with the number of people in that area, because it's not for everybody, it's just really for smallholder farmers. Our statistics show that there are about 3.2 million smallholder farming families in Malawi. The program could only cater for 1.5 million farming families, so we had to find a way of targeting, the people that are to be reached under the scheme.
Okay, the chaka icho ndi chaka chatha mulanda makubona ngati.
Chaka chathacho nalandira makoboni.
He says for the two villages, they got 200 coupons last year and 200 coupons 2 years ago.
Chaka chatha chinali chimodzi.
Muli ndi anthu angati miezi mwane ichi?
Midzi iwiri.
Okay, he says 300 families, farm families.
We were looking at a number of factors. One, it has to be a person who has got a land, who has got a garden. And two, it must be a resident within that village. And thirdly, it must be 2 vouchers per household. The distribution was done through the local government structures, that we send the vouchers to the district assembly, and then they allocate them to the area and then the village level.
She got the message from the traditional authority. The arrangement is that you've got a TA at the top, then sub-TA, group village headman, then their level. So they were called to one meeting where the TA explained that there's this fertilizer subsidy program going on. She was selecting people who were needed in the village, people who don't harvest enough normally. So she wanted to give those chance so that they can at least produce something.
Agurubu mo kudzidwa na ndari
Okay. She says she just got the coupons from the group village headman, who she reports to.
Poyamba anaripatsa pang'ono zedi kenaka nkuripatsa komosiyanitsa.
And last year, the previous year before the current growing season, she got 5 coupons. This year she got about 15. But they are not enough because there are many more people in the villages needing the coupons.
We thought that the local structure like the chiefs would play a critical role in the distribution of the vouchers. But this proved to be difficult because the demand for these vouchers was so huge. Everybody wants to have a stake in it. And therefore the identification was a critical problem. The voucher studies done by DFID shows that we were able to reach essentially most of the people that were targeted.
He says the village chief identified his household, and then they gave them vouchers for fertilizer. After they got the vouchers, they went to an ADMAC shop in the village where they redeemed it for fertilizer. They paid 950 for each bag of fertilizer. He was given the vouchers for fertilizer as well as seed. They received the coupons in August. And they redeemed them for fertilizer between September and October. Before the subsidized fertilizer, he could only harvest up to 5 ox carts. But now, since last of last year, when he first got the subsidized fertilizer, he was able to harvest 12 ox carts. This year it's been 14. He keeps some for his home consumption and sells some mostly to ADMAC. He says he benefited from both years. In the first year he got 2 coupons. This year he got 1.
Ndawa 23
Inusuna ukilise 23
dasi ndisaragula bagari ye unibasa ndoa ine ye ineso kubeleka ndoa ye.
Okay, what he says is he used both, but what he did is he got his NPK and agreed with somebody who got urea that he gives him half his NPK, the other person gives him half the urea. Says his production is lower this year, obviously. He's gotten 2.5